We're back.
Hello.
It's turtle time after dark.
It's nearly 9 p.m.
Can you
Burning the
believe
midnight oil.
I'm burning midnight oil right next to me. It's so late.
Yeah.
How did you? We just got back. I'm gonna say it. You might have thought that Amy and I didn't even miss a beat, and we just came right back after a certified turtle piss. But Amy and I had a full adventure for an hour and a half, and we watched the latest episode of Real Housewives of Orange County. Amy, what did you think about that episode that we just watched?
It was fun. We were just saying it was very breezy. It was sort of like relegating stuff that happened last week and setting up what's going to come next week. I did want to say that I don't know why I thought Shannon was on Watch What Happens Tonight. It was Emily. Maybe it changed or maybe I was just wrong. But we, at the top of the show, didn't talk about Shannon's feud with the comedian Joel Kim Booster.
He's a comedian?
And, yeah.
Okay.
Comedian, writer, actor.
Wow,
But I think
okay.
he has like specials. Yeah.
Okay, wow, okay. Yeah. Sorry, say what you were saying.
If you guys didn't see, he was the host of that new Housewives dating show.
Yep.
What was it called? Like Horny Island or something?
Horny Island. Yeah. It's we read about it or we talked about it. It was like it's like Luan, Shannon, single people in the Bravo universe. They get to have a dating show fully dedicated to them. And I did not know that Joel Kim Booster was the host, but
Right.
yeah, that's the
And,
show.
like, he's a frequent Watch What Happens guest. You know, him and like all of those guys from that are in a lot of the same stuff, like Matt Rogers and all those people are like friends of the show. So it made sense that he was the host, but he went rogue on Instagram stories like a week ago, railing against Shannon, saying that she treated everyone horribly, that she's like pathetic. He was like, people don't like think you're entertaining, they pity you, I hope you suffer. He said
I hope
that-
you suffer.
Yes, he said,
I hope you suffer. That's the one thing.
Suffer.
That's the one thing you're never allowed to say. You can't say I hope you suffer.
I know.
Louis said that.
I know. And then he was like, I know I'm probably going to have to delete these, so you guys should screenshot it so that you get the message.
I want you to always know that I said Shannon should suffer.
Yeah. And so everyone was like, my internet was all in a tizzy because a lot of people were like, holy shit, what did she do? Which, I mean, maybe I'm sure she did act poorly. I believe that.
I don't.
Like, at all.
You go ahead, but I'm going to save my thoughts.
Okay.
But you keep going.
But like, it is unhinged when you've been hired by NBC Universal to like pop off like that. Like at the least it's unprofessional and like putting your job and your reputation at risk. And I've been very curious about if it was going to come up, what Andy thinks, because I think he really was a fan of his and probably played a part in getting him hired for that. And on Watch What Happens Live tonight, guess who got the mazel?
Who?
Shannon Bedore.
No way. You just saw that?
Yep.
That is full exoneration for Shannon, right?
I'm just
It has to be. Wait, did he say was there any context
It wasn't
for
about that. It was like basically around her birthday, like 60th, like she's been through a lot, like we love you. But I'm like, that's like a badge. Like that's
because he wouldn't do that if he was just reading the daily reports from Horny Island and it said Shannon was throwing glasses at production's head. He would never give her the mazel, right?
I mean, it felt to me, I mean, I was tuning in hoping he would say something, but maybe he's not allowed to or doesn't want to. So to me, it felt like a little bit of a dog whistle of support.
Andy, were you dog whistling at all of us? I mean, I fully believe that. That's all the evidence I need. You don't give Shannon a mazel when you just hear that she was an absolute tyrant, treating everyone like absolute shit. Here's what I'll say. The worst thing you could ever do is treat people like shit on a production. That is absolutely awful. For some reason, I almost really would need to see, like, not see evidence, but like, I just don't imagine Shannon as being an absolute piece of shit to everyone around her on production. She's been on this show on OC for what, 8 seasons, and they tolerate, I'm sure, people being kind of shitty, but they eventually fire you if you're absolutely a nightmare to people. I feel like Luan almost got booted when she started to be shitty to production and Roni, and they said shape up or
And
ship
Jax.
up. Jax got the boot. I feel like there's other people I'm missing where Jill. Jill,
Right.
apparently, Andy says Jill got fired because she was an absolute nightmare to people, in addition to not being entertaining and flopping like a fish on
Right.
Roni.
Yeah.
So,
I will say, without naming names, I have I texted everyone I know about this, of course, when it happened. 'Cause I was like,
Wow.
holy shit, this is crazy. And I have a lot of industry pals. And I got more than one, 2 or 3 examples stating that Joel Kim Booster is a lot to deal with.
great. I knew it. I wasn't gonna say it. I wanted to say at the end of this, I was gonna say, do we have all the information? I don't know anything about Joel Kim Booster, but I saw him once on Watch What Happens Live, and I didn't think that it was a fun appearance in any way. I mean, I don't know anything about him, but I thought that it's quite possible that he was absolutely possibly a nightmare, and he wanted to throw Shannon under the bus for this. So that's almost confirmed.
Yeah, I've heard he's likely or trigger happy to complain to the powers that be. Like he likes to make his problems everybody's problems.
Wow, what is that? Oh,
I'll tell you later.
yeah. I like imagining what the hell that means. Okay, so there's now, you just kind of, I mean, in a way, like, it could be the exact opposite of what he tried to proclaim to the world. And with Andy's evidence honoring Shannon on Watch What Happens Live tonight, it's almost like a sure thing that Shannon might not have been a nightmare. And I also, personally, even though I don't fully know Shannon, it kind of seems very out of character to imagine that the minute camera turns off, she treats everyone like absolute shit. You know what I mean? But I guess I would...
immediate, like, benefit of the doubt to it being true is just that her closest friend is Jeff Lewis.
What does that mean?
Talk about a tyrant. I would believe that he treats people like shit.
Do you think he does people who work for him?
Well, that's what his whole show's about.
Treating people like shit?
Yeah.
Wait, what
Flipping
was Jeff
out.
Lewis?
He treats his staff like shit.
I never watched it. Okay, all right, okay. Well, maybe that rubbed off on Shannon. Here's what I'll say. Let's put it to the little turtle cuties and Villa Rosa VIPs. If there's any evidence that Shannon has been a piece of shit to people in her life that we can use as information to get the truth of this, but I don't see it in Shannon's personality. But also, you never know who's a secret monster. We know that to be true.
Yeah.
But I was more, when I saw this story, I will say I didn't believe Joel Kim Booster. It seemed like an unhinged rant, and I don't know him at all, so I don't know if I can trust him to disparage Shannon's character, a person that I do know, and I've seen 1,000 hours of their behavior, right. And nothing would lead. If you told me that Ramona is an absolute piece of shit, I've heard stories for like secondhand of her treating waiters like shit, and you hear all those stuff, and then you can see her berate people sometimes when she doesn't get what she wants. So like, that wouldn't surprise me, but for some reason I can't imagine that Shannon would be able to fully hide that aspect of her personality.
Yeah, it was questionable just in the sense of how it was handled, because it's like, all right, deal with it, and then later, next time you're on Watch What Happens Live, you can make a little remark that'll make people be like, what do you mean? Like, you can be like sassy, but to like fully go rogue and like break your NDA or whatever, and like just put a bad taste in people's mouth for the show that hasn't come out yet. Like, I just think it was like a bad move professionally.
Me too. Yeah, keep it under wraps and only tell us 10 years from now on Mark Maron or in a book. I didn't think that seemed like a good professional move either. Overall.
Yeah, like,
and it made me wonder what the hell Shannon actually did.
Exactly.
I would love to hear her side. Maybe she personally offended him for a second or something, and he went off the rails. But that doesn't sound good for that show.
I know.
Like, do you think he got fired halfway through it, and he also just wanted to burn every bridge?
It is wrapped. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I think was Dorinda on that?
I would have to be reminded of the cast.
One of them posted about like going home like the other day. So
Okay.
it was like already done.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. I mean, we'll watch it. At least we'll watch like 3 episodes and then forget.
Yes.
But yeah, I had to put that at the top. And then we will also, the beginning of this episode is all about Tamara and Ryan. And
Yeah.
we didn't talk about the fact that Tamara publicly did like basically a Notes app Instagram
Yes.
stories apology to exonerate herself from getting sued by Ryan.
Yes. This is the exoneration episode. I feel like everyone's getting exonerated. So Ryan, I forget his last name, but he said, Pedranti, I am calling up the Garagos boys, he said, immediately, because Tamara said false information about me live in the edit of one of these episodes, so I am going to sue the shit out of her, just like Big Jim Bellino before me.
Yeah.
Tamara heard that, saw that the podcast had nothing to do with what she said she lied about, and also she knows that she just made false accusations in the edit, so she had to do what you just said, I've never seen it like this before. Tamara just did a full apology saying, I didn't mean it, I didn't know what I was saying, I am so sorry, I'll never say it again, just so that Ryan will call off the dogs and not sue the shit out of her, and she'll lose another $500,000 like she did with Big Jim.
Yeah. Yeah, she fully was like, I apologize for my use of words or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if that's going to do it, but you know.
Ryan should call off the lawsuit. I respect that Tamara ate shit for the first time ever and just apologized and said, don't believe anything I say on camera. I'm a full-blown liar who just likes to stir up shit. I've done it countless times before, and I'm really sorry about this one. But I want to say, I don't want Bravo and reality television to devolve into the disparagement chronicles.
I know.
Where I want to be able to say salacious lies. Oh, I'm not on the show, but I want them to be able to say salacious lies, disparage the shit out of people, bring up accusations about Alibaba and using that on prison websites, because I don't want Whitney to sue Meredith for disparagement and ruin Salt Lake City immediately.
I know. Apparently, I was reading tweets because, so he was going to sue Tamara, and now Kelly Dodd is like, we should all class action sue Tamara about every lie she ever told about me running the train and all of this. But someone was tweeting the same thought, like the show will be ruined if people keep getting sued. But Brian Moylan replied that it's in the Housewives contracts that they can't sue each other.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great.
I guess probably once you're off the show, that's different. Or
that's a great clause.
Like, your husband do it maybe, but
yeah. That's a great clause. I didn't know that. You can't actively sue someone that you're on the show with because it completely ruins it.
Yeah.
I think disparagement should go back into the First Amendment. You know what I mean?
It's important.
Because I don't think, I just, you should be able to just say whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game.
Yeah, and then I want to say, just in addition to that, because it kind of leads in right to this first scene. So, well, do you care? Did you want to say anything else? Okay, so we get the follow-up from last week where Tamara decided to turn a nice, fun dinner party into a chaotic nightmare because she was drunk as hell, and she wanted to talk about the one thing that no one wanted to talk about, which is the Ryan and Eddie drama. Yeah. And then she brings up the FBI, and this is where we find out for real what the hell happened with Ryan and the FBI. And I have to say, I think I believe Ryan.
Believe what?
I think that it was just his friend in Vegas that was the gambling bookie who would rent out big hotel rooms in Vegas, whatever the hell they accused him of doing. And he just got the fruits. He said, I got the fruits of a beautiful friendship, and I like to I was lucky enough to enjoy those fruits with my friend. So I kind of, and also the fact that he was confident enough to sue the shit out of Tamara. You only would sue her if you think that she disparaged you by bringing you into a lawsuit that you have nothing to do with. So that's why I thought maybe the law is on Ryan's side here, and he didn't do any of the shit that his gambling bookie friend was doing.
Right. Well, if we she did mention, which I guess should be fact checked, that potentially his friends or his partner are the friend and the partner the same? Yeah, or that's different.
This would need, we need to watch that TikTok that they showed in the
Yeah.
episode of Giorgio Says, because I have no clue and I didn't understand it even for the 2 minutes where they explained it, what
Right.
he was doing. He was,
Yeah.
he
There
was,
was someone where his partner's business address is his home address, and then I just thought it was fishy when they were like, Katie walks Tamara out and is like, yeah, she just told me to ask ask Ryan about the FBI, and he goes, that's so interesting. My closest friend is going through something with the FBI. She must be talking about Matt. And
yeah.
Jen's like, oh, you're right. And I'm like, why are you acting like this?
Yeah, well, here's what it is. It's dicey legally. He knows his friend got raided by the FBI, and the FBI maybe came into his house and looked at his Venmo accounts or whatever. But he doesn't want to say.
Yeah.
You can't
struggled to explain. Like, he was like, Matt is a professional gambler, and he has a bookie business. And then Jen is like, aren't bookies illegal? And he goes, in California.
Yeah. Katie, I think Katie asks Matt very just nonchalantly over in the corner, are bookies illegal? And he goes, in California, because he knows that in Vegas, where this all happened, bookies, I guess, are legal. So he knows this case, and I don't know. I mean, unless you point me to the evidence that he benefited from his friend's illegal gambling, but I feel like
the thing is, like, Tamara in the car is like, ask him about illegal gambling. Jen knows he's a piece of shit. It's disgusting. And I'm like, are you really that like morally and personally offended by illegal gambling?
I thought the exact same thing. I said,
cares?
you think it's disgusting that he might have gotten money from some bookie in Vegas? Like, you don't give a shit about that. You just want to disparage his character because it's convenient for you now because you're in a feud with him, or you just embarrassed yourself by outing him about the FBI. I don't really care about financial crime.
Yeah, unless it's like coming from elders like Jen Shaw.
Yes, that struck me badly.
Or
but like what
Erica.
I was just gonna say, I'm fine with what Tom did.
You saw she had to give the earrings back.
She did? I know. I didn't see that. Wow,
Yeah.
What the hell's going on with my Bravo news? I don't get to see that. So the lawsuit, though, the defamation lawsuit, does make me think that, and the way Ryan kind of talked about his friend, he kind of kept it in like good legal sound language, where I was like, you've thought about this, you know what your connection is that you're willing to say on camera, you don't think there's going to be any repercussions. He was very stilted, like you said. He was very strategic with what he offered. So I think he got cleared of this, unless there's some new news, but I haven't followed up, but I feel like he feels confident.
I thought that wasn't there like an LA Times article or something where he was implicated with this like Dodger betting thing? Like he was named.
Maybe. So then that means that he was only filing a lawsuit against Tamara for disparaging him in a certain way, but there's still an active lawsuit about the Otani translator gambling. I don't know. Yeah, I guess we have to look into that, or if a little turtle cutie wants to alert us to that. But I just felt like he had the confidence of an innocent man.
All right, we'll see. I mean, he is, if he's a scammer, he's a good one, I think, maybe. We don't need to get into it. I just want to shout out Emily. I love that she used an entire scene to honor the Innocence Center and buy a sweet suit for her little exonerated guy. I love that.
Yeah, I liked it. It was like a little mini like documentary within this episode, like a full self-contained story about what Emily does, which is very honorable. Like,
and it like reminds you that she's like very smart and like a straight up lawyer and is using her time to like help people. So I thought
that was great.
Cool.
That was great, and he got a free suit, I think, from Bespoke in Orange County. So shout out to them. That was really nice, and he seemed very excited to help out, with Emily and help out this person. So that was really nice.
And then we also don't need to go through it, but I thought the Korean barbecue scene was nice. And we got the setup that Katie and her family are going to go to Korea to find her birth mother, which I'm sure will be a moving storyline.
Yes, and I think we got a little good glimpse of Katie's son, and I love when he asked Mom, what's your Korean name or whatever, and she said Young Ma, I think, and he goes, I love you, Young Ma, and I thought that was so sweet.
That was really cute.
Yeah, that was really cute, and I love seeing Korean barbecue.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm missing out on as a veggie, where I'm like, oh, that does look fun and good,
Yeah.
but sometimes you can get like shrimp, but you have to go out of your way.
You do? What do you mean?
I don't usually think of doing that because I feel like the whole point is like pork.
Yeah.
So I don't really go, but they do have like fish versions, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that you don't get to experience that, but yeah, I mean, you can someday when they have shrimp.
Totally. All right, let's whiz through this tea. First of all, Shannon looks great. She's
Yes.
60.
Yes. I love this tea party. I want to say
Yeah.
up front, I loved it. I loved the location.
They've
I've never
filmed
seen
there before, right?
Yeah, now I just had a flash of like a couple seasons ago with Vicky there or something.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful. It was totally like a tea garden. Pretty with flowers. Emily said it's one of her favorite places to go. I liked everything about this tea party. I thought it was like the perfect event for Shannon.
Yes. I was at first really annoyed that the size 12 conversation was going to come up again, but I felt like they actually did come to an understanding that sealed the deal.
I loved it. Heather, they get there, and Heather goes, "Can I talk to you? Damn it!" To Emily, and Emily goes, "No, I don't want to talk to you right now." And then Heather goes, "Please, come on, we have to talk," because Gina says that Heather wasn't prepared to talk about that thing on camera when Emily spur of the moment brought it up to her, but then now Heather was calculated with what she wanted to say, so it was on her terms. So I think that's probably true.
Yeah.
But then Heather doesn't relent. Emily goes with her, and Heather holds Emily's hands, and you can tell that they're not actually so mad at each other, and Heather does want to repair this thing. So she just lets Emily talk, and this actually, we both sympathized with Emily, and we knew where this was coming from, but I think we both felt it was like she was making too much of it. But for the first time ever, I really like how she explained it to Heather, where she said, "Imagine how I felt when I saw this. Imagine how I felt when I saw the two dresses together. Imagine how I felt when I saw that I had to bring my own pair of denim pants." And then you see Heather like really take it in. And then Heather, and then she goes, "I thought that you had sort of negated all of my work where you didn't see me as someone who had lost 40 pounds. And then Heather gets a little defensive for a second. She groans. She goes, "How could you ever think that? Oh my God." But then I think she realizes that is not the tact. That's what she did last time. And Emily goes, "Can't you just feel how I felt?" And Heather goes, "Yes, I do. And I'm so sorry. I think you're gorgeous. I totally understand." And then Heather repairs this. They repair this together. I thought that was really sweet. And I'm glad it's over too.
Yeah. I was like, thank God. I really think she felt heard. It worked. Heather was like, "Of course I understand. I'm a woman in Hollywood," which I'm like, yeah, I mean, Heather is like skinny as a rail. She's been probably like watching what she eats for 40 years.
What was that show, that sitcom pilot that Heather was on?
Oh yeah, with Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called. It was like
two
two
teens,
girlies,
two girls, two apartment girls. One thing I do want to say is I like when Heather had a kind of an iconic moment. She goes, "I chose that oversized jacket for you and Tamara because you are two of the most badass women I've ever seen. And I can imagine you ripping ass on a Harley in that thing." And she goes, and I forget what she said. "And then I chose the dress because you and Alexis have the best figures I've ever seen in my fucking life." Yeah. And I love that she gave her that shot.
I specifically thought about it and was doing it for the opposite reason.
Yeah, that was really cool. Heather got out of it and Emily was heard, which was great.
Yeah. We got Shannon makes it so that she's the last to arrive, and she's like, I have a little surprise for you bitches. And they open the little boxes, and there's like tea or whatever. And then she rips off her little tea wear, like Chanel suit, and she's wearing a full on sequin Union Jack dress underneath. And I was like, that's awesome.
It was so awesome. I wish the gift was more emblematic of London than just tea.
Yeah.
I think it should have been like a little figurine of like the Queen of England or the King of England, or I think that they were all confused. They got like a big box of Lipton tea, and they're already at a tea spot, so you would think that she's just giving them merchandise from the tea room. Why couldn't she just
forced us to then have Gina do some brutal accent work?
One of the worst I've ever heard in my life. It makes you realize that they can be so bad.
It makes me feel a lot better about what we say on the Patreon doing Lisa every week, because that was like something was wrong. It was like she was having an aneurysm. I was like, are you okay? Actually, Andy gave that the jackhole.
He gave Gina's British accent the jackhole of the day or whatever, the jackhole of the week.
I don't think it was just Gina. It was like this week's brutal English accents, and I turned it off before they did the montage, so I think it included everyone. But
oh my god! Well, some people, Shannon did a good one. I mean, who knows? You know, we Americans probably think that we hear good British accents. Maybe British people would be like, Gina actually has done the best one I've ever heard in my life. You know.
Yeah. Okay, and then to round out the tea party, Shannon gets a giant flower arrangement that includes an olive branch, and it has a signed card from Alexis Bellino saying, like, I hope this olive branch can give us a fresh start, wishing you the best, blah, 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 which was nice, but I agree with Shannon, like, fuck you. Like, you're suing me.
Totally. And why? Why now? And it's like, it's almost like the like her villain arc against Shannon ran out, like what she knew she wanted to do this season. She knew it was flopping and she couldn't do it any longer. So she finally did what she really wanted to do, which is be friends with Shannon the entire time, and she doesn't understand why Shannon would absolutely despise her right now. It's like, these are real things that are happening. You're not just on a completely fake show where you get to get away with anything. So I didn't understand that at all. Oh, I did really quick though. I did like when Heather gave her those amazing sandals.
I know. Well, Jen must be pissed because she brought her something from Hermes too, and they didn't show us.
Jen did?
Oh, sorry, Katie did.
Katie gave her also a Hermes gift.
Yeah,
but they only
didn't feature it.
Oh my god! And the boudoir photo was really good that Emily gave her. Nice. I really like that. I love when they said that she looked like someone said Shannon said it about herself. She said, I look like a madam in a brothel. I thought that was kind of a fun. Okay, but anyway, back to the flowers. I completely agree with you. What the hell are you doing, Alexis? And it was like when they teased it, like who sent these flowers, I was almost like, is it gonna be Johnny J?
I know.
And Alexis, but I was like, that's too weird and dumb.
Right.
And then it actually was.
And then Tamara tried to act like, why can't Alexis just be nice and send you flowers? And it's like, because she's actively like trying to ruin my life.
And we've seen this. We know. As of 2 episodes ago, Alexis was like, I'm going to show a footage of Shannon almost running over John's daughter from his Ring camera. You know what I mean? Right. Oh, also this olive branch thing has happened before in the Bravo universe, right? Someone else gave a literal olive branch to someone just very recently, within the last 6 months. So if any Little Turtle cuties or Villa Rosa VIPs remember, but I'm just saying this isn't even an original prop. Right. We've seen an olive branch that was given to someone to settle a feud.
And then we get Shannon sets up that she's going to send this bitchy text that we saw in the preview where she's like, me and my friends are going to London. Just so you know, you are not invited. I do not want to be friends with you. Thank you. And they're all like, wow, like maybe don't send that. Like we'll tell her. And so then Katie and Jen go to Alexis's house for the final scene. And I thought they were going to tell her, but instead they were like, check your phone. You have a text. Yeah, and I was like, why both?
I have a lot of questions. Okay. So this is it. This is the final scene. So we can talk about it a little bit. Okay. So Alexis left her phone upstairs.
Where
'Cause it was
John was secretly lurking.
You think Johnny was up there?
He was talking to him.
She was?
She was like, "Can you hand me my phone?"
Johnny J was up there in the room looking down from the banister at them?
Yeah.
I didn't know Johnny J was up there. I completely missed that. Sorry, I was writing my notes down so quickly. So her phone was with Johnny J.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't understand why, I would have thought that she had already received this text, or did Jen and Katie say, send the text right now, we're with her, so we can soften the blow?
I don't get why. I thought she was going to cease to send the text, and they were going to be like, we at the tea party talked about it, and we are going to be going on a trip. It sounds like you're not invited, but...
Here's what I think happened. I think producers wanted a dynamic scene, as is their wont, with Alexis receiving the text. There's no excuse for doing it just at her home alone, quite possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a friend of a threshold that can't be crossed. So they wanted a scene where she reacts in real time with scene partners that weren't Johnny J. So they send Katie and Jen to do their dirty work of being there to get Alexis's reception. And that's why Alexis is so pissed at them, because you're like, you falsely prompted a scene with me knowing that I was no longer going to be able to go on a huge cast trip on the show. So I'm fucking pissed at you.
Yeah, they did feel sent as soldiers who are still newbies and do whatever they're asked.
Yeah. But I love that they kind of did get to be a part of an iconic scene, because, not so iconic, but I did like it. Alexis gets the text. They go, and she's upset. And like you said, she's kind of like, what did I do? Why can't we just get along? This is so horrible. And they go, it's probably for all that stuff that you did, like the lawsuit and Johnny J being up there breathing upstairs looking down at us
She's
or whatever.
Like, what is she so stuck on?
It's like, I think it's all the things that we've seen every single episode for the last 15 episodes about you. And so she's very delusional in this scene. But
like, we did ask her to soften the text, and apparently she didn't. But I literally screamed when it cut to the confessional and it was her and Johnny J. I really didn't see that coming.
You know what? I think it might be the last scene for them or something, because I think Alexis. So I'll just say really quickly, I guess. I think that there's a fourth wall thing here where Alexis knows that being not on this trip is detrimental to her arc on the show. So she considers it quit-worthy to not be included over a grudge with another cast member, that cast member has that kind of power over her to actually stop her from going on a trip. And it ruins, I think, her overall season to not be a part of it. Her plan. So, but anyway, the Johnny J confessional was good. It's kind of like the final word from Johnny J and Alexis about this matter.
Yeah, he's like, I had to do it because I was days away from the statute of limitations running out. She 100% knew these were loans. We have the evidence. And he said that Shannon has an interesting relationship with the truth. So he got that dig in.
Don't tell Joel Kim Booster.
Oh, seriously. And then it felt like they asked Jen and Katie in their confessionals if they thought that Alexis had leaked the lawsuit to People Mag or whatever. And Jen looks very scared to answer. And at one point you watch her decide to say, no, she didn't do it. And they're like, really? And she's like, And
she goes, next question, please.
She's like, move on.
I can't reveal that Alexis definitely leaked this to People magazine.
Yeah, and Katie's like, I mean, I hate to say it, but I know that she has a good relationship with People magazine, so she probably did. She was like, I don't want to say that. I don't know what they're so scared of.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
But Alexis literally just gets up from the couch, goes to the front door and opens it. And they're like, oh, I guess we're supposed to leave.
She goes, I'm done. She goes, I'm done.
I don't want to hang out with this group anymore.
Yeah. And they go, no, come on. We still want to get to know you. Maybe we just don't have to hang out with Shannon, which is like, continue this season. You're just not going to be in Shannon scenes. She goes, no, I'm done. And she gets up and she does the vamoose sign. She goes, get out of here. Like, get production, get out of here.
Yeah.
You guys get the boot, get out of here. It was like very abrupt and shocking. It was like, I'm ending my run on this show right
I was
now.
like, do they even have their purses? Like, I was like, they really just like ran out of there. And they were like, wait, are we getting kicked out? They're like, why is she mad at us? Like, we didn't want to do this. Like, she literally, when they leave, she slams the door behind him. Like, damn.
Yeah. And she goes, then she says also, she goes, thank you. So first she goes, I love you guys or whatever, but get the hell out of my house. But then she goes, thank you for being horrible communicators of this horrible news. And I was like, they were fine. They did an okay job here.
Why would you ever get to go to the UK?
Because you know, for the stuff that we don't want to talk about, the fourth wall stuff,
Sure.
you know. But in reality, which is this is supposed to embody the reality of a situation. Yeah, why the hell would you ever get to go on Shannon's birthday trip to London?
Well, it's like, remember when when Luan, I think both Luan and Ramona invited themselves on Bethany trips that she tried to uninvite them from, and they came anyways.
I don't recall that, but that's the move. I mean, Alexis should have just gone to London and said Johnny J wanted to spoil me in London.
Yeah, there's that one when like Bethany and Luann get dinner. It's when Bethany's having that phase where she's like bleeding profusely from like her uterus.
Oh, right.
And Luann's not invited, but then she just keeps like inviting herself and is like, great, like I would love to come. And she's like, are you smoking crack right now? And then the Bethany one, I think, was Mexico, and or Ramona one, and Ramona's like, it's a group trip, I'm going.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's the way to do it, especially if you're a full-time cast member. Like, don't let anybody ice you off this show.
Yeah.
It's great. And you know, I don't know if we're wrapping up, but I can't wait to see them in London. I can't wait to see London through the eyes of this OC cast. I'm so excited. I mean, we're kind of getting towards the end. They'll do the cast trip.
This
international
is
trip.
13.
Yeah, they'll do that for 3 episodes, and then there will be like one more, and then I think this season will be ending around episode 16. So we're kind of winding down.
Do need to mention that coming up, I think next week, if not this season, there will be another fight about Jeff Lewis and something that was said on his show.
He's gonna come on, right? Because didn't he spoil his appearance, or was that on Beverly Hills? Andy goes, don't spoil that you're on the show. I think he's on either one of the franchises. It might be OC because he was, or it might be Roni.
Was he already, because he's friends with Sutton maybe? Anyways.
Oh, right.
But anyways, something else that was uttered on his show will be a topic. So.
Okay, great. And we ripped through this thing. I mean, I guess 37 minutes is not that good. But there was a moment that I don't know if you would have seen it, and like Jen said something to Alexis right before they all got kicked out, where she was like, is there something else going on besides just the non-disparagement muzzling? And then Jen goes, rah, rah, rah. And I go, what did she say? And I put subtitles on, and they didn't even know what it was. It said indistinct Jen Pedranti chatter. So
yeah, it sounded, because they were like, she implied that maybe there was something else, and then she goes, nope, just the non-disparagement. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's like Jen said a full sentence and everyone laughed, but it was unintelligible even for the captioneers.
Right. We'll see if that comes up. But
yeah.
Also, the end of Watch What Happens Live, Sheena Shay was a surprise guest, and Andy asked her if she was disappointed she wasn't cast on Dancing with the Stars this year, and she said that she was relieved
because she's too busy. If anybody remembers from the season 11 reunion, she said, thank God they're not going to call me this year because I'm busy as hell with my summer. Wait, was she just in the audience?
She was like, I think it was like the doorbell. Like she was like a fun last minute addition. And then Andy asked if we would be seeing her on the Valley. And she was like, you have been seeing me hanging around with them, which I think just means like she'll probably like be featured, you know? But
yeah, she really has been. She's been hanging out with Janet, like, it's in so many stories I've seen. So
yeah, I think she also said that she's like feuding with Jax, and I think that they potentially said that he unfollowed Summer Moon.
He did, but we know what happened there. We can't add to this narrative.
One account.
You say, would
grouping.
you like to block all accounts associated with this. That would be really. What if you got busted having like a secret hater account when someone went to unfollow you and it was like
email associated?
Yeah. Well, good. Well, I'm glad. I mean, I know it was a long time, but I'm glad we were able to do the 3-show challenge.
Yeah, soon to be 4.
Yeah. And I'm going to catch up on Potomac, so I'll have thoughts on what the hell happened last season. You and I both kind of just fell off a cliff with that show, but I think that if we structure it properly, we'll be able to give a lot of shine to the shows that really are great, and then whatever sucks, like I don't know why I'm using Roni as an example, but if that potentially sucks, a little less time. But you and we're going to really try to make this the Bravo compendium of all this shit, the Bravo Digest.
Yeah. I'll try and do the quickest version of our spiel. I'm going to say rate, review, comment, follow, all the stuff. Say nice stuff for us on your platforms where we exist, Apple, Spotify, wherever.
And I love YouTube comments.
Yep.
I say it. You and I don't respond to them. You do sometimes, which is great. But I love the YouTube community. They leave comments and no one has to respond to them. But it's so nice. Like YouTube is a great community. A lot of people watch on YouTube. I hope they're not too dismayed by the remote shit. But I don't know. Let us know. Is it so much more horrible on YouTube to be remote, or do you love seeing Amy and I with
better?
I know, me too. You could see our faces. We're happy, I'm able to hear you pretty well. Like Riverside's a good platform, so let us know, YouTube, if this is a reasonable way to do things until I'm able to be in person with Amy. But that's great. And then you want me to? I'll say the other thing.
Sure.
Also, if you absolutely loved this episode of Turtle Time and you say, I can't get enough of this stuff, I got to hear more. We have a Patreon, which we talk about every week. It's the Turtle Time Patreon. But when you subscribe, you become a $5 a month member. You become a Villa Rosa VIP. And we have a backlog of over 75 episodes where we're recapping Vanderpump Rules from season 1, episode 1. And Amy and I are about to get to Katie and Tom Schwartz's wedding, basically. In about 3 or 4 episodes, they're about to go on their dual bachelorette trip in New Orleans. So we are at the zenith of Vanderpump Rules, and we're doing that every single week. So there's like hundreds of hours of entertainment on Patreon for $5 a month. Absolutely.
Totally worth it, in my opinion, as someone who pays other podcasts $5 a month. I really enjoy.
And I want to give a shout out to the Villa Rosa VIPs who are with Amy through thick and thin. They are so nice to us. They comment and we discuss the episodes together, or they amongst themselves, and we love our Villa Rosa VIPs. They're so thoughtful and sweet. It's a very what's that called? A community that is not mean-spirited and horrible. Yeah. What's that called? Good, positive, and nice. Yeah, it's a true community. I never am afraid to check the comments. Yeah. I don't think there's ever been one negative one in the Villa Rosa VIP experience. So it's so nice. We love our Villa Rosa VIPs. And I want to give a shout out to something that Amy designed, which I think is beautiful, that I'm wearing right now. It's kind of a sad time for Kim Richards. So I'm not like, I don't know. This is a beautiful shirt. Before her bad situation that we knew about. We know that Kim Richards is in a little bit of trouble. I think we talked about this last week, but we are honoring Kim Richards no matter what for her overall legacy, and we always are wishing for the best for her. I know that she will get better, and she'll be happy very soon. I don't know what the hell is going on, but we want to honor Kim Richards with a shirt. We've added it to the archive of all of the other Turtle Time fan merchandise that we've done, and there's other stuff on the Etsy store too. If you just want to get a wild shirt to impress all your friends, it's available at the Turtle Time Etsy shop. Yes, it is good stuff. All right, well, I'm gonna go hang out with my toothless, not homeless cat. Speaking of Beverly Hills, right? Because that kind of happened on. Kathy said something like that. Good. I don't want to keep you from Norman. I would normally ask you a bunch of questions, but I'm going to let you go. Let's wrap this up. Amy, have a wonderful night. Little Turtle Cuties, have a wonderful weekend. This came out on a Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, and Villa Rosa VIPs as well. We will see you next Thursday and Monday on Patreon. Bye. Bye.